Why are you losing hunts in wilds, my fellow hunter? The monsters are tough, but your settings are making them tougher. Your camera can't see the full fight. Your controls make decisions you didn't ask for. Your screen hides the attacks you need to react to. I've been hunting since PlayStation 2. When Wilds launched in February, even I was carting to monsters I shouldn't be. Not because they were too hard, because the game's defaults were working against me. I changed 13 buried settings, same monsters. Suddenly, I stopped carting. These 13 changes removed the friction between me and the hunt. Let's fix this. First thing, max out your camera distance. For most hunters struggling with situational awareness, maxing out camera distance changes everything. Large monsters like Jin-Dahaad telegraph attacks that happen just outside a closer frame. A wider camera means you see more of the battlefield and spot incoming attacks sooner. Try max distance, see how it feels, then dial it back to wherever feels right for you. I personally keep mine at around 4 or 5 for that close intensity, but I started at 10 and adjusted from there. You won't know your optimal distance until you test the extremes. Start at 10, adjust from there. Turn off motion blur. Motion blur makes your screen smear during fast action. It looks cinematic, but hides the exact information you need. When to dodge, when to punish, when that fireball is actually coming. Wilds is fast. Motion blur turns precision hunting into guessing. Turn it off and suddenly you can read the fight instead of reacting to blur. This also helps performance on weaker systems. 2 benefits, 0 downsides. Reduce your teammates' hit effects. In multiplayer, 4 hunters attacking 1 monster creates a light show that completely hides the monster. I've missed Rey Dau's lightning telegraph because a gun lance user's Wyrmstake full blast was covering my entire screen. You need to see the monster, not your teammates' particle effects. This setting keeps your own attacks visible, but reduces everyone else's. You still see your damage. You just don't go blind from the chaos. If you play multiplayer, this is mandatory. Disable focus camera. Focus camera auto locks your view to the monster's body center when you target it. Sounds helpful. It's not. You're fighting the camera more than the monster. Focus camera creates tunnel vision. You're staring at the monster's body, not watching your positioning, not seeing terrain, not tracking attack telegraphs from the right angle. Disable it. You keep full manual control. Target camera still lets you tap lock on to snap the view toward the monster when you need it, but it doesn't auto follow and fight your adjustments. You decide where to look, not the game. Turn off auto-sheath. Here's what happens with auto-sheath enabled. You're fighting Gore Magala. You back up to reposition for your next attack. Game decides you're done fighting and sheaths your weapon. Gore attacks. You can't block. You can't counter. You cart. This happened to me 4 times before I realized the game was making decisions for me. You decide when your weapon is sheathed, not Capcom, especially with charge blade, lance, gun lance, weapons where being ready to guard is survival. Manual control means you're always ready to react. Use Radial menu type 2. Type 1 activates items the moment you move the stick. Type 2 requires you to press a button to confirm before the item activates. Why does this matter? Because I've accidentally used max potions at full health, wasted a dust of life before a fight even started, hit flash pods when I meant to heal. You can't afford these mistakes. One button confirmation prevents all waste. Zero downsides. Set your minimap to fixed rotation. Rotating minimaps spin with your character. Sounds immersive until you're trying to navigate and directions keep shifting. Over time, it makes quick orientation slightly more difficult than it needs to be. Fixed north is fixed north. You learn the map faster. You can call positions to teammates without confusion. Navigation becomes more intuitive. Also set detailed map rotation to fixed. Turn off Seikret auto move. Your Seikret will start moving on its own when it has no target. Means you're trying to position for something specific, and suddenly your mount decides it wants to go somewhere else. Manual control means your mount follows your commands. When you want to stay put and observe, you stay put. When you're lining up a mounted attack approach, you control the angle, combined with manual controls. Type 2, you have full steering, no AI making decisions for you. Match your controller button icons. Game shows Xbox prompts. You're using a PlayStation controller. Mid-hunt, screen says press X. Your brain thinks PlayStation X, bottom button. You press it, wrong button. You get hit. Worse with Nintendo Switch Pro controllers. A and B are literally swapped from Xbox layout. Every single prompt in the game is backwards for your muscle memory. Fix it once. Match the icons to your actual controller. PlayStation shows PlayStation buttons. Xbox shows Xbox. Nintendo shows Nintendo. When the game screams dodge now, you don't have time to translate button layouts in your head. Prioritize your frame rate. Console set to prioritize frame rate. Performance mode, not resolution mode. PC, this is where I need to be real with you. Wild's PC optimization has been a shit show since launch. Some systems run it great, others struggle hard. It's not your fault if your rig isn't hitting 60. If you're on PC, enable DLSS, NVIDIA or FSR 3. Works on any GPU. Try balanced or native AA for upscaling mode. This prevents the blur people complain about. Frame generation can help if your card supports it. Target 60 frames per second if possible. Community testing showed FSR 3 sometimes performs better than DLSS in Wilds specifically, even on NVIDIA cards. Results vary by system. Look, I can't fix Capcom's optimization for you, but frame rate directly impacts dodge timing, camera smoothness, and input response. Performance mode over resolution mode makes hunts feel better when the game cooperates with your hardware. Damage numbers are pure preference. This one's completely up to you. You have 3 options, with decimals, whole numbers, or off. Personally, I keep mine off. I came from older Monster Hunter games where you never saw numbers. For me, it's about immersion, focusing on the monster, reading its behavior, not watching damage pop-ups. It feels more like an actual hunt. But if you're into build optimization, with decimals shows precise damage, like 142.5 instead of 143. Also turn off weapon attack power display. coefficient to see true raw damage instead of inflated numbers with hidden multipliers. For build crafters, this data is gold for comparing weapons and testing setups. For immersion hunters like me, turning it off keeps you in the moment. You're cool. Neither is wrong. Focus mode, toggle or hold. Default requires holding the trigger. Toggle lets you press once to activate, once to deactivate. This is pure preference. But if you're doing extended focus mode hunts, targeting wounds, using focus strikes for 10 plus minutes straight, your hand will cramp from holding the trigger. I use toggle for ranged weapons only. Test both. Pick what doesn't hurt your hands during long sessions. Enable gyro aim for ranged weapons. PS5, DualSense and compatible PC controllers only. For bow and bow gun users, gyro aiming uses motion controls for precision adjustments. Feels weird for about an hour. Then it clicks and suddenly you're landing headshots on moving targets that seemed impossible before. I dismissed this when Wilds launched. Motion controls are gimmicky. Then I watched a bowmain delete Rey Dau's head in under 3 minutes using gyro. Tried it, never went back. Not for everyone. Definitely not for melee. But if you main ranged weapons, this is your cheat code. 13 settings. That's all it took to make Wilds feel like the game I wanted from day one. Camera distance so you can actually see the fight. Motion blur off so you can read attacks. Manual controls so the game stops making decisions for you. Fixed maps so you learn the terrain. Performance settings that prioritize responsiveness. And specialist options for those who want that extra edge. These aren't secrets. They're tools Capcom gave you. They're just buried in menus most hunters never touch. A day after launch, I was frustrated. 20 minutes in settings and everything clicked. Now it's your turn. If this helped you optimize your hunt, carve that like button. Let's get this to other hunters who need it. And if you're hungry for more Monster Hunter Wilds content, hungrier than a Devil Joe, consider subscribing. I let my subscribers vote on what I create next, and I drop new Wilds videos like this weekly. My fellow hunter, quest cleared. This is the InZane Hunter. Now get out there and hunt the way you're meant to.